Good morning, November 8th, Sunday morning. Hope you can come and join us at service today at 10:30. Today we're in Jeremiah 43 through 45 and in Hebrews 5. Pretty much Jeremiah, just reminded me of our destruction's never over. Those who we love, hope is never over. As long as they're able to put away their, basically their idols in their life and come to a relationship with God, and that's the important part, that we're seeing in Jeremiah today. But Hebrews, kind of opened my eyes again to my calling to minister. And at the very beginning it says, every high priest is selected from among the people and is appointed to represent the people in matters related to God, to offer gifts and sacrifices for sins. Now, years ago, high priests were a little different than what I do, but to some degree it's the same. But you no longer need to come to me for sacrificing and really being a mediator for you to God, because Christ died for us. You have your own access to Him with that. And again, the Quakers were all ministers of the gospel, but to me it just reminded me, and hopefully it reminds you too, that even your pastor's human, because it says right here, he is able to deal gently with those who are ignorant and are going astray, since he himself is subject to weaknesses. In other words, I'm no different than anyone else. And unfortunately, over the years, a lot of churches, put their pastor up on a pedestal and when and if he does, well, not when, but when he does fall into some area, it's a real huge disappointment to the people. But if you go into it knowing that he's human, he's no different, he or she is no different than anyone else in the church or anyone else. It just the bottom line is, we're all the same. I always say that I'm no different than anyone else. I'm just fortunate enough to get to do this full time. But the thing that jumps out at me the most here is at the very end, when it's talking about truth, about really being in the Word, and about not having that ignorance, but have the understanding of God. But it says, anyone who lives on milk, being still an infant, is not acquainted with the teachings about righteousness, but solid food is for the mature, who by constant use have trained themselves to distinguish good from evil. In other words, when we're a child, when we're a baby, we drink milk, and we nourish off of that. But as we mature, you have to get off the milk and get on solid food. And I always it's kind of neat watching, particularly my grandchildren, going from that milk stage to solid food. It's kind of exciting that we can go to McDonald's, get some fries. But anyways, it's the same with our spiritual life. If we're constantly just taking what is fed to us, we're gonna continuously stay on the milk. But you gotta get into the meat of the gospel. You have to start, feeding yourselves in order to grow and to multiply, just like what we're talking about, in our theme this year. So, and to me, I've never had that said to me, I guess, but I've heard a lot of other people say, I'm leaving this church or that church because I don't feel like I'm being fed. And the first thing I ask them is, are you depending on your complete nourishment by that 15, 20, 30-minute sermon on a Sunday morning? And a lot of times, most of the time, they'll say, yeah, that's what I'm depending on. Well, if you ate once a week, and the rest of the week you didn't eat anything, and you just look forward to that one day to eat, you starve. Matter of fact, it wouldn't even be a healthy diet. It wouldn't be nutritious for us. So we have to eat, each and every day. We have to digest good food. We have to do the things that we need to do. And that's what it's talking about in a spiritual sense today. We have to get the nourishment of the gospel. We have to be eating solid food in order to grow and to mature. So again, really good text. I love Hebrews really because it really tells us kind of the relationship with God towards us and what we need to do to obtain that. And so I'm excited about continuing in Hebrews here. But I'm really looking forward to today. Again, it's Veterans Day. I was actually out in the cemetery today looking for a tombstone for somebody who had sent a request for that, and I was looking at a lot of different veterans, a lot of different people and I know we look at Memorial Day for mostly that, but the veterans, the people that served our country, the ones who invested into that for our freedom, is what we recognize today. My dad was a veteran of the Navy. And I couldn't be more proud of that, that he served, that he sacrificed for our freedom. So, and there's a number of people that have been out there who's done that. So, look forward to service today. Just continue being in the Word, keep praying, keep building those spiritual muscles, and have a good meal in the gospel today. God bless, and I will see you Monday morning.